Hey guys, hopefully that's working. Making sure I'm live in the right place. Hopefully you've had a lovely weekend and hopefully the background noise here isn't too distracting because I am home with everyone here. Sundays, although it's still school holidays here, I know a lot of people find it weird that I'm very crooked. How it looks on my phone is never how it looks on actual screen. So it's actually still school holidays here, which I know is very probably odd for everyone else. Okay. So my son is being very loud in the background. Do you know, no matter how much I tell them to please be quiet because I'm on the video, they're never very quiet. So you can probably see a lot of prep. I'm actually semi-organised for this video. So you'll have to let me know as you join where you're joining from. I'd love to know. And to know what you got up to this weekend. I'd love to know if you've had a lovely weekend. The setup of this video is driving me bonkers. But I think I'm just going to be less bothered by it and just leave it as it is. I can fix it afterwards. I'm a little bit too touchy sometimes with those kind of things. Hello, Anita. Oh, you're a Victorian. You're going to on stage, aren't you? So hello, Kylie. Kylie's a fellow Bernie girl. I know that. Hello, Jenny. So yes, I was supposed to be on here on Friday night, but I had a killer of a migraine. So for those, I think I've said on here before, I've been struggling with migraines for, I don't know, a couple months now, maybe even longer actually. Well, it has been longer because I got put on a medication 6 months ago for them, but I've been struggling with them really bad for quite a long time. And I need to check that that's going okay. They've been driving me absolutely bonkers. So I didn't come live because one hit me in the afternoon and I just needed to rest, I think. So this new medication that I'm on is just, I'm hoping that what I'm seeing on my computer is not what you're seeing because it's very pixelated. You'll have to let me know if the video is okay. So yes, the new medication I'm on has a lot of nasty side effects, unfortunately. So I get, you might have heard me comment on my videos sometimes that I get shaky, especially with finer work on my videos. So I get very shaky in my hands sometimes and have to stop doing things because they are neurological medications, so they're for epilepsy. So it's rather annoying sometimes. And I get really bad pins and needles in both my hands and my feet and migraines. So I have an appointment in 2.5 weeks with the neurologist and I'm at my wit's end. I'm on 2 different types of epilepsy meds and I'm just ready to throw them all in the bin. So yes, that was my Friday. My Friday was spent hiding. So I'm glad that I'm here tonight. And then my weekend was spent babysitting. So I didn't really come in here at all and I was missing my craft room. So yes, that was my weekend. And I would have loved to have been in here, hiding and hibernating. Hello, Miss Worry. Because I actually got a box of goodies, and which are falling all over my desk. I know, I played with the, I just played with it and I've forgotten the name. Jungle Pals. So I got a big box of goodies in the mail and I didn't spend any time this weekend in my craft room, which was sad. So I got these bundles. So this is the stuff that you'll probably see me play with. So I got Thoughtful Expressions, which by the way, I'm not going to spend a time doing an unboxing because you've probably seen all this stuff. My granddaughter looks like a cyborg. Oh, a 24-hour EEG. I had a week-long ECG. So I had the wires coming from my head and all over my body, and I had a camera full time in my house watching me. It was really interesting time. Yeah, so this one goes with here, with these dies. These are great because they're a great essential to have. But this, is it a hummingbird or something? I love it so much. And I thought this was cool. This is actually the, what do you call this thing? Host set. So it's quite cool, and I just thought I could do something funky with that. And this one, I know Megan, if you're watching, I'm going to be doing something with this. I actually really love the font. And this one is great. The dies that go with this are a great essential to have. And I loved that they have, I didn't even think about it until I saw them. They actually make tags, so really cool. The painted lavender, which is obviously popular because it went onto back order, but I think it is back out of back order now, so really cute. Great for Mother's Day. This one, if you saw on my page, I was talking about printing photos. This one is great for scrapbooking. So I'm keen. I've actually sent off photos to be printed, and oh my gosh, I'm glad that I talked about that because I just totally forgot something for tomorrow. Hello, Cheryl. I got your card for round 9. It's so cute. And so yes, I have got photos printed to do some scrapbooking. So exciting. And I got the ice cream swirl. So that was a bunch of stuff I got, which will be happening. And I got the oh so famous Thoughtful Moments hybrid. So and then, oh gosh, I'm throwing things everywhere. So they were just the dies. Oh, and I got the alphabet die. And then of course I got the things that I will be doing tonight. So I'm making a fun fold. Oh, she called her camera Matthew. Mine did have a name, and I would have it somewhere. It had a really weird name. Was it through Sear Medical? I'm guessing it probably would have been. But, so I now have lost my voice. And these were the other things I got. So these are actually the Jungle Pals stamp set and the dies, but these ones you can't buy. Yes, I went through Sear. They flew over from Victoria to Tassie, so they fly over here to hook people up in Tassie. That sounds terrible. And then they fly back to unhook people. But they were lovely. So yes, Romeo, that was the name of my camera, Romeo. Yes, so it comes with dies, and these both you can't buy them. You can actually earn them for free. So they are Sale-a-Bration items, and I just love them. I thought they were so cute. And this one is a Sale-a-Bration item as well, which I got, and I used it for my sentiment. So on today's card, I am using those 3 Sale-a-Bration items, but I also used these cute embellishments, which I love that I sat on the floor and I can see golden retriever hair all on the back. So it comes courtesy with Loki and Thor's hair. But this is also a Sale-a-Bration item. So on today's card, I've got 4 Sale-a-Bration items. So if you don't know what I'm rabbiting on about, Sale-a-Bration is the current sale with, well, it's the most amazing sale. If you ask me, it's, you can shop and spend $90 or more, which isn't hard to do, and you get to choose a free item for every $90 you spend. So all of the items that I have used on my project today are in here. So there's lots of cool items to choose from. So those faceted gems are featured there, and there's the heartfelt hello stamp. And then this one is the Jungle Pals dies and the Jungle Pals stamp. The Jungle Pals dies are $180 items, so there are level 2 items, so you do need to spend $180 to get those free. So that is a fantastic item. And there's more items there, and you can see the beautiful glass mat, which is the joining special, so you can also totally get the glass mat if you join, which is another great Sale-a-Bration offer. So if you want to join my amazing team, you can also get, you still get the Sale-a-Bration items, by the way. If you join and order at a discount, you still get Sale-a-Bration items for every $90 you spend, but the $90 comes at a 20% discount. So it's not really $90 anymore. But if you join at the moment, you can get a free glass mat with your starter kit. So I've listed and made a little flyer here, which you can see, but in the video description, there's a link there which has all the info on joining. And you'll see me use the glass mat in this video. But I don't want to speak too much about, I don't want to babble on too much. I just wanted to show you which Sale-a-Bration items I'm using today, because I don't want to not use them before they're gone, because this is the last month of Sale-a-Bration. But speaking of Sale-a-Bration, they have just released more Sale-a-Bration items. So there are now, what have we got here? 10 more items. So these are actually current items that we already had, but they've added them to the Sale-a-Bration offerings. So now you can choose these items as well. So there are 8 level 1 items that you can get free with a $90 order, and there are 2 level 2 items that are free with a $180 order. So I was keen to get this Just Kidding paper, because that's brand new to the mini catalogue, and that's free with a $90 order. Which also, this delightfully eclectic paper that's free with a $90 order, that's actually worth like $48 or something, and you can get that free with a $90 order. So that's an amazing deal. So all of that you can see in my store at the moment, which is linked in the video description. Also, I'm not going to talk about this one for too long, but they're on my calendar, which you'll see on my Facebook page. I talk a little bit about some online exclusives that were released. This is only for demonstrators, but there is a way as a customer you can access this, and that is by joining. And you can join and add them to your starter kit. So as demonstrators, we can pre-order them now. And I'm sorry about the dodgy printing, because my printer was running out of ink that I only just reinstalled. But you can actually add them to your starter kit, so you can get them now. So these, I will have some coming on their way, but you too can get them now. So get them early and take advantage of that amazing deal. Get them now and get a free, and get the glass mat. So yeah, these are amazing. I'm so excited. This is not all of them, by the way. This is just the flyer. There's an amazing coffee suite. If you want to know more about the whole lot of them, send me a message, because I'm really excited about the coffee suite. Okay, so that's enough talking. I'm going to show you the card. So I was keen to have a play with this Jungle Suite. It's really hard to show this like standing up. So this one's called a Diagonal Stair Stepper card. And I really was keen to have a go at playing with the dies and making a bit of a jungle. So I'm hoping you can see that okay. For some reason it's going dark really early, and I've gone live a little bit earlier than usual today, but I wanted to have a play with making the different greens and the grass, and it sort of sits like this so that the squares move upwards, so they look like a bit of a diamond pattern. But I had a play with making it a little bit of a jungle, and as you can see here, they move, and it's a bit of a, what do you call this, an accordion fold? I'm not sure, but it all folds up, and then you can open like this, and there's room inside to write. So it's actually a relatively easy card to make. You don't need any specialty dies to make this fold. They are just cut squares, so it's really simple. I have done all my measurements in inches, so I'm going to show you how to make it. And as you can see, I have done all the pre-die cutting so that it didn't take too long to do all the fussy bits. And I've done pre-colouring. I'm just going to colour the little alligator crocodile with you so that I did something. And I even pre-embossed. So I'm going to try and do that bit ahead of time. So I've got all of my pieces pre-cut here to the side. So to start off with, and I do have a tutorial that I've been good with my tutorials. with these lives. So I do have a tutorial. It's almost finished. But I'm actually going to do the opposite. So I've only been doing metric, but for this one, I'm only going to do imperial. So it's imperial for everyone. It's just easier with this fold. So I'm going to pull in my trimmer, and I've got a whole bunch of junk in front of me everywhere all over my desk. Oh, by the way, look how cute these are. Hopefully that'll focus. Who showed their pin board? I've been sharing all my cards, but this is the online stamping retreat pin. How cute and adorable is this little fella? It's the little bee. I don't know, my camera's terrible at focusing, but it's so, so cute. So for those that haven't, that don't know what I'm talking about, Online Stamping Retreat is run by Kayla and Bruno Bertucci and Lisa Curcio and Gina Hawley. And there's actually, so the one that I have been sharing, I'm just going to tag the page just there in the comments, because you can click on that page and there is one next weekend. And it's where you can learn tons of fun folds. It's the one where I've been sharing all those dual pop-up cards. So I'm really, really excited to do that next weekend. Okay, back to, I'm just really, really distractible. You got yours. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so this is the base of the card. So this is 5 inches wide by 11 inches long. And I'm going to pop it into my trimmer. I need the arm out. And then I'm going to score. So these cards can be any width you like, by the way. So they could be 3 inches wide. They could be 6 inches wide, 7 inches wide. So, as in they could be as long as you want them this way. It's more the scoring for the steps that needs to be the same. So cut it to 5 inches for this one, and then we want to score it at 3 inches. And we're going to score at 6 inches, 7.5 inches, 9 inches, and 10 inches. I don't actually know if I cut this. I didn't cut it down to 11, so I'm just going to cut this down to 11. Let's see. Because our A4 cardstock is not cut to 11, so just cut that down to 11. I'm just going to remove my trimmer out of the way. Now I'm just going to score my folds. Now you do really want to reinforce. You guys should come this week. They're so cute. So I just want to do, I really suck at mountain, like knowing which one's a mountain and valley. I'm sure, so mountain, I think this is valley. So we want to make a mountain, a valley, and then we've got a mountain. I'm sure I could work it out. And what's this? A valley. And then a mountain. I think that's right. And then we want to, I would even probably pull them out so you've got just one layer. To score like that. So it should look like this. A bit of a, what would you call that? I don't know, like a zigzag. So it should look like that. Okay? Now the next bit we want to do is add our DSP. So I've got layers of this DSP. Now this DSP, I couldn't decide which DSP to use, but I wanted a nice green. So I wanted it to be a bit of a greeny jungle look. And the one I found that I really liked was actually from the Stargazing pack. So if you aren't aware or can't remember where this comes from, it's actually the planets. So the one with the planets on it. I really liked this beautiful greeny colour one that had all these sort of orbity dots going over it. I really liked that pattern. So I grabbed myself that one, and I just realised that I don't think I pre-cut my crumb cake pieces, so I will have to do that with you. I apologise. I knew I'd forget something, but I'm sure one thing won't matter too much. So I'll just grab some crumb cake off my shelf and bring back out my trimmer. Now I've got to decipher my pieces. So I know that all the length will be the same of my crumb cake. So if I cut that first, it'll be fine. So I want 4 7/8 is going to be the length of the crumb cake that I want. And then I want, for the biggest layer of crumb cake, I want 2 7/8. And I'm just going to check the size before I go ahead and keep cutting. Yeah. Okay, so 2 7/8. So the first bit of crumb cake is 4 7/8 by 2 7/8. Now all these measurements will be on, because this card is full of measurements, I'm going to put these on the PDF. So the medium piece for the next layer is 4 7/8 by 1 3/8. If I have my way, I like to do the tiniest layers that go down to like a 1/16 of an inch. So I tried to keep this one tame and not do layers that were a bit too much. So this one's 4 7/8 by 7/8 of an inch. I'm just checking them as I go so I don't put the trimmer away and then realise I haven't done them correctly. Okay, so we've got all of our layers. So then we just need to grab our glue. Have you got all of your pieces cut for the online stamping retreat, Cheryl? Or are you going to be away actually? Because your chain card swap said that you were going away, so I wasn't sure when you were going. So I'm just going to adhere these down. Now these don't really have a direction as such, so I can just stick them down. And then we can come in with our accordion folded piece. So we want to push this back to get to, so this is going to slide into the back piece, sorry, but at the front of it. So I just want to add some, I'm a glue girl, so I love adding liquid glue to everything, and I just want to center that on that panel. Now I love liquid glue because I can wiggle it around and move it until I'm happy with where it sits. Then I'm going to push that next piece back and adhere this one onto the center of there. Oopsie. And then I will do the same with this one. So then that's all of, oh, I need to check. I saw that you had your fur babies. So exciting. Nothing better. Okay, so then we've got all of those pieces stuck down. So the next bit we're going to do is work on the squares. So I have all of my squares cut out. So I've got my medium, my large and my small. Okay, so the large square is cut to 3 inches, and then the small white one is 2 7/8. This one is 2.5 inches, and then this piece is 2 3/8, and this one is 2 inches, and then the white one is 1 7/8. So that's a little bit there, but I will have that all written in the tutorial. So I'm going to start decorating. So there's a bit of blending here, but that's why I've done all of this prep here, because I thought I'm going to be here for hours otherwise. So I wanted to create the top layer to have a bit of sky and have my little sloth hanging from the trees. So I brought in some colours here, and I think this is all the colours I used, but for the sky I've used some Tahitian tide. So I'm going to, the thing I love about the glass mat is this is probably my favourite thing. I just dump my ink onto the glass mat. You're tired and covered in fur. I can totally understand that one. People say that when they come to my house. I'm like, don't wear black. Black's a bad idea in this house. So I'm just going to add my Tahitian tide. So I've gone on a diagonal, by the way. So normally you'd use a square this way. I'm doing it the opposite way because they're going to be used diagonally. So I'm just going and adding my Tahitian across. I'm using up all that ink. Now I'm just going to keep my chamois for the glass mat. These glass mats come with a chamois, which is so handy. Just going to take that ink off. And then for the bottom, I'm just going to come in with some lemon lime twist. So I'll move that one out of the way and just bring in some lemon lime twist. And I just want to blend that. I think it was still a little bit wet down there from the chamois, but that's okay because this is water-based ink, so it's fine. And I just want to blend it across the middle there. So it's sort of like the sky going into the jungle. Then you can come back in with the blue one if you really like. Actually, I didn't do this on the other one, but I've still got some darker green left on my dark green blending brush. That actually looks quite nice. So this would have had shaded spruce on it. Quite like that look too. I didn't do that in the original, but there's nothing wrong with winging it. Okay, and then I went with a, what's this one? Shaded spruce Stampin' Wrap marker. Just added a tiny bit of spritzing. I only went with a little tiny bit because I didn't want that to be too over the top. And then before I stick this one down, I used the dies from the set, this little vine hanging branch, and I've cut that a light green. So I went with a lemon lime twist and a shaded spruce. So I cut it out twice. And I'm just going to add little dots of ink, of glue, sorry, across the top there. I really don't want too much glue, and just alternate where they sit. Just give that a press. And then when you're happy with it, just trim off the excess. And then if any of those little bits pop up, Now I'm getting the handshakes. I spoke about it before and jinxed myself. And this is probably a video where I would get it because I'm using lots of little die cuts. Okay, so then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the back here. So that's providing me something for my sloth to hang off, because he's going to hang off those branches like that. So then I want to add some greenery. So I just want to say I cut out my greenery out of a mixture of lemon lime twist, parakeet party, shaded spruce, and granny apple green. So this is way more greenery than what you would need. I just went to town cutting it out. Now what I did was now I've got to remember, on the lemon lime twist, I've added a little tiny bit of granny apple green ink on a blending brush and just went over the edges to darken it up and add some extra dimension. On the shaded spruce, I added a little bit of pretty peacock. On the granny apple green, I added some shaded spruce. And on the parakeet party, I've added lemon lime twist. So that's how I've got the extra dimension. Exactly, Anita, that's the plan. Because you know what, also, I have not used the tiger on this card, so that's the plan. And on these little wooden pieces, the tree branches, I've used some pecan pie. And I'll get to the flowers soon. So that's how I added the extra dimension on here. But what I'm going to do is grab and pick, so this may not be exactly the same, because I'm just going to pick and choose a couple to add in. I thought my dad was on the phone to me talking about computers, and I mean, my dear dad is like 70, and I love you, Dad, if you're watching this, but he's using very antiquated technology trying to get it to work. So I was probably going to town a bit too much on the die cutting while talking to him. Okay, so I'm just adding some of these leaves, and then I'll add a tiny, just trying to vary the colours a little bit. And then I'll have the little sloth dude, and pull off these dimensional backings, and he is going to hang off, like, look like he's hanging off the branches there. Okay, so now we've got that piece that is going to sit there, but I'm going to put that one to the side for a moment, because I'm going to show you how I arrange them at the end. So we're going to move on to the next square, which is a little bit more intense. Not really, it's not that bad. So I'm going to go in with some shaded spruce with this one. So we're going to go a bit darker. Oh, I think I need to re-ink that one. So I'm going to go like I'm doing a diagonal again. So this one I'm not going to have any sky. This one's purely the jungle. I love being able to do it on the glass mat because you can pull from that ink still. So has anyone created with this set? I haven't actually really had a look to see what other people have been doing with this set, so I should actually see. Okay. Take that ink off the mat, and then I think the colour that I used for here was Lemon Lime Twist. Oh, you have, Anita. You'll have to share what you've done. Okay, so I'm going to pull the lemon lime in. I think I went really dark with this. But this can be the dark component. Actually, this is the dark layer. Okay. And then while I'm actually inking, I might just do the last triangle anyway. So this is a small triangle, and it doesn't bother me that there's lemon lime twist there. I'm just going to go in. Gosh, that's hard to shut. This is the Granny Apple Green. So this one I just added Granny Apple Green. I think because the mat was quite wet, the ink's actually going on darker. So probably let your mat dry a bit. Let that dry off. And, oh yes, I would love to see. Okay. Plus I just rinsed out my chamois, so it's probably wetter than usual. Making a mess everywhere. Okie doke. So with this one, I actually wanted to, because this is the layer that I wanted my little, is this like a toucan? I'm not sure what everyone calls these. So I wanted to have him sitting like in a tree. So what I decided to do was create a little piece that was going to sit, I wanted the tree to actually be in this piece, but it wasn't going to suit being a die cut like this. So what I did was actually add glue. I wanted those two branches in there, so what I did was line it up, or you can actually use the grid if you really want to be. I'm pretty much a free, like I don't really line things up very well. I tend to just wing it. So I'm just going to go with that. I'm just going to cut off the excess. And then what I'm going to do now is, again, add some glue to this offcut. And then line this up on the edge. Cut off the excess. Oops. I'll have to take these pieces off. And then it really depends on how much you have left over. Oh gosh, if it was a tiny bit, I don't know if we'll have enough wiggle room, as if it was just a little bit. I don't know if we'll have enough leeway. If you started the other way, you might be able, oh look, the magic of glue. I could move it over a little tiny bit to make it fit. Okay, so perfecto. Now I'll show you. I'll just cut these edges. And I was able to do that from one branch this time. So one die cut. So now I've got my tree branches. So I was able to fit 3, and that way the little birdie can sit on one of the branches. So really cool. And then what I'm going to do is pop that onto a layer of early espresso. Then once again, I'm going to add in some leaves. So I'm going to pull in some of these doodads. These have got quite long stems, so I'm just going to cut some of those stems, I think, just to make it easier to tuck them in. So I want to have them poking out, and then use my little bird as kind of a gauge for where things are going to sit. You could use glue dots, but I'm just tend to be more of a glue girl. And then I might pop another one of those, and then I'll pop my bird. So I'm going to pop my bird on with some more Stampin' Dimensionals. I just want to have him sitting on the branch. And I am going to add, I don't know where I put it though. Oh no, it's just in there. I was going to add a little bit of Winker Stella to the beak. I don't know why, I just thought it would look cute. I'll probably go and add some more Winker Stella afterwards, but I'm also going to add in this little, I'm not even sure entirely what this animal is. I know it'd probably be obvious, it's like a bandicoot or something, I don't even know. But I wanted him peeking out over the top of the card. So I might add a raccoon, I don't know what they call these things. Where is my Take a Big tool? I'm just going to add, it'd be the safest bet to add some little glue dots in behind for that one. I'm going to add the flowers afterwards. So there's our big and our small. And then we have just got this little dude to do. And I didn't do the little spritzing of the, I was going to add some spritzes, but I don't, oh, this is like dangerous. I would do that before, but I just added a tiny little bit. I'm going to add a little bit now before I start decorating, but I added some spritzes of the shaded spruce. Now I'm going to add on this one just a touch. This is so minor, but I'm going to add a little bit of one of these dies to the bottom of this one. So to do this, I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive. Just to the bottom a little here. And then cut. And then I want to add another piece. I just can't decide which piece. Let's see. That one I think is too big. I might add, because it's down the bottom it makes it tricky, but I might add that little piece there. And then we'll do another chop. Not much of this will stick, it's just the tiniest little bit. Just adds a little layer down the bottom there. And then we're going to stick this one onto our layer of I was about to call that chocolate chip. That is a very old colour. Not quite sure why I thought of chocolate chip then. And then we're almost ready to assemble. But what I'm going to do next, before I've got to colour this one too, But what I'm going to do next is actually just assemble. I'm going to use 3 of these little grass pieces that I've die cut, and I'm going to assemble these along the bottom here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue. Assemble I've done one in lemon lime twist and 2 in granny apple green. I'm going to add the granny apple green. I just thought it was nice to have one in a different colour. So I'm going to add a granny apple green to either side, and then add a lemon lime twist along the middle, I think. What's your go-to colour, Anita? Oh, chocolate chip. I don't even know if chocolate chip was out when I joined. I feel like it might have been just. Okay, so there's a couple bits I'm going to quickly do. That's not a good way to clean your scissors. Don't do that at home. I just want to quickly fussy cut. You're probably all cringing. You don't have to fussy cut. You could just cut this into like a banner. This Sale-a-Bration set, by the way, coordinates with the heartfelt hexagons punch. I forget what it's called. I think it's heartfelt hexagon punch. It coordinates with a punch. It's probably actually in, if I got my Sale-a-Bration catalogue. Coordinates with heartfelt hexagon punch. It's pictured there. So it does actually coordinate with a punch if you don't want to sit here and fussy cut like I am. You could actually just punch it out. Or just cut it into a little strip. I love to fussy cut things out. I'm a little bit weird like that. Biggest tip with fussy cutting is just moving the paper. I know the fonts are really gorgeous, aren't they? I love mixed fonts too. Love this one. Love it when a sentiment set also says like mothers instead of mom. There really is something for everything in that set. I was actually going to put this one in the card too and have like mask off dad and have hello you're the best, but I was running out of time. I thought I have to get this card finished. Okay, so there is the sentiment, and now let's quickly colour. I've pre-cut it out at least. So I've got my lemon lime twist markers. Now I'm going to start with my dark, and what I like to do is just accent the bits. I'm not very good at colouring. Colouring is not really something I'm that great at. I agree, Anita. Yeah, so I just like to accent the bits that I think would be darker. So I'm going around anything I think would have a shadow. So where the belly is, around the legs where I can see there'd be natural lines. Perhaps where, you know, they've already got some marks on the crocodile. So I'm just going to call it a crocodile. I think it might be an alligator. I'm going to go around the line of his little lip there, up on the tail. So I'm not going to go too overboard. I can go back and add some more dark in, so you don't have to go too over the top. So I'm happy with that at the moment. Now let that dry a moment. I think I used to rush in and add my light straight away. But now I've learned that sometimes it's good to just let it sit for a moment. I can actually go in and add, what I'm going to do is just add pure, just dark without blending it onto the little spikes here. So I'm just going to add those. Might actually just add them here too. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my light. The big area, I might just use the brush tip end. Just slightly pull out that colour. Just softly blend it. So you get a nice blended look. I am being very soft because I do have my brush tip end as opposed to my small nib. I'm probably going to change ends now because I don't need such a large end on there. I'm just going to do his face now. Now I kind of want to leave the teeth white, so I'm not doing the teeth. Now I'm pretty happy with that. So there's some darker areas. Now if you want, you can go back in. If you lose some of the darker areas and you want to go back in and add a bit more darkness back in, you can go back in and touch up and add some more. I'm just going to go and dot some darker areas back in. Now what I am going to do, and you're going to think what the heck, is I'm actually going to bring my colour lifter in and lightly circle in my colour lifter to remove some colour. I just think it adds a nice highlight and makes his belly look a bit rounded. So that was a fun way to get the colour onto the crocodile. So I'm probably mixing between calling him a crocodile and an alligator. So that one is done. So let's start putting this together. I feel like I've lost one of the squares. That's the medium one. Where is the large one gone? What the heck? I'm sure it's just missing in translation, or I'm staring at it. One of the two. You guys could probably see it and you're probably laughing at me. Probably thinking, Kayla, seriously, it's just there. I do this all the time and then I find it on the back of something and think, are you serious? I'm having a drink so I can... Oh, it's here. It was on the back of the stamp I had on my desk. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is work out where I want my squares. So I want to place them onto my card in order of size. With which way they're going to be going. But keeping in mind, I want to line them up from like spacing this back one, leaving an even gap here and here. And then the next one, if we come down, we want to kind of space it. And I like to line up the early espresso borders. Now what I'm going to do is actually use my pencil. So I'm going to hold that down and use my pencil to make a mark. Here. So I know that that's where that's going to go. And then holding that down, I'm going to do the same with the back one because I'm not going to see this. So I know that that's where that one's got to go. And then this bottom one, I'll probably see where that has to go when I do it. So what I'm going to do now is place these down. So you can't place adhesive up the back here where that's going to see. So you want to concentrate your adhesive down this bottom bit. I'm going to stick these down with some dimensionals. So just going to add some down the bottom here. Gosh, I'm going for almost an hour already. Now I'm just going to add a touch over that line that I made, just so you can't see the line. Now I'm going to come in with the next one. And I know that that's where I'm lining it up. I'm going to add, now just check before you do it. So I know that's where I'm lining it up, but I know that I've only got a very small place to add adhesive, so check before you do it. I know that I'm only going to hold my finger there. I'm really only going to be able to add about 2 dimensionals. It's enough, but yes, you're only going to be able to add about 2. So and then coming in with the next one, fingers have got the shakes, it's so annoying. I'm going to see if this, I don't want that to hang over, so I'm just going to check. And do a dimensional check. That's all good. So it should sit fine. I think I've gone a little higher than my original card because my original card, I think this bottom one came right down to the bottom. So it's still sturdy enough though. But if you're worried about that, you can definitely, so I can show you what I mean. So this one here, this square came right down to the bottom. The benefit of going down to the bottom is that it does have a little bit of extra sturdiness. So I can actually still do that. What it does do. So I can come right down to the bottom. It just means I have to reline up these. So I'll just add some other dimensionals. So I'll just have to reline these up. So I'm sort of using my layers as a bit of a guide because I'm thinking by looking at that, what was happening there is it was just a little bit, I wasn't really happy with how sturdy it was with just having a couple of dimensionals. So I would have preferred it just to go down just a touch. So I'm happy, I was happy to move it just a little. Yeah, I'm much happier with that. So I think I would recommend that actually. So with this one, it's going to go down. This one you probably still would only be able to fit 1 dimensional. And that's going to go down. Like that. You can still see the sloth because you've got to remember this sits on the side when it's out on display. Okay, much better. Okie doke. Now we can start decorating the front here. So I want to add my little decorations before I stick in the little crocodile. So I'm going to add a couple of these fun, they look like, what do you call these? They look like monstera leaves. I think they might be. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and pop those in like that. And then I think I added, I'm not sure, I might have added, I don't know, we'll just wing it. And then I'm going to add my crocodile. Now, this crocodile, because this is sitting up on a dimensional, I don't want to add a dimensional to his head. I only want to add the dimensionals to the body. So I'm going to add some dimensionals along the tail and to the body. And I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue here. And then I'm just going to stick my crocodile like that. And then for the hello, I am just going to add the hello stuck in on the front square. But I think just because I don't think I need any more dimension, I'm going to add the hello with some glue dots because there's quite a bit going on the front of that card. So I'm just going to add a few just to make sure it's well adhered. And I'm kind of going to tuck it in, make sure it's all sitting onto the front panel because I don't want those glue dots to stick to another one of the panels. And now I want to add in my flowers. So a tip for the flowers, I just want to grab a quick scrap to show you because I have pre-done mine. So to colour these flowers, all I did was grab a pumpkin pie marker and a Daffodil Delight. And I have coloured pumpkin pie, and that is a very old, I'd love to know where that came from. Maybe I was using the other one. We'll just use light for the sake of today. So I've mixed orange and yellow and then blended them in between, and I've cut them out using these dies. And then if they dry and need a bit more blending, I've then coloured them in again and added a bit more of the blending to brighten them up again. So that's how I did the flowers to get them looking like that. I just pre-cut them ahead of time to save some time. So I'm just going to add those to my card. So I've got two on this little front panel, and then I want to add, I want to add one to the panel with the toucan, but I just want to have it where you can sort of see it. So might actually move. Oh, glue dots are a bit stronger than I realised. Not quite happy with the placement. I might go with that. So I like the sort of triangle that's going on there. So I've got that, and then I'm going to add in my opaque faceted gems. So these are the Sale-a-Bration gems. Now I wasn't sure which ones to add because I quite liked this colour, which I'm not sure if it says in the Sale-a-Bration catalogue what colours they are, to be honest. Oh, it does. They're Calypso Coral, Pecan Pie and Pool Party. So the Calypso Coral didn't actually look too bad, but I decided to go with the Pool Party. So I think I'm going to go with a big one. Actually, no. Now I changed my mind. I'm going to go big one there and small one. So I love to do things in threes. So that's the pretty little gems. And then I'm going to add some Winker Stella. So I might actually add a little bit of sparkle to my flowers. Like that. And then I'm just going to run along and add, I just like adding little touches of sparkle along some pieces, just to add a little bit of highlights. So I've added it along the stems of some of the leaves, and it only adds the finest bit of glimmer, not much at all. And then I'm just going to add the tiniest spritz of glimmer. I don't want much at all, and this Winker Stella is quite dead, so it doesn't let out much at all. Now the last little bit that I'm going to do is adding the inside of the card. So I'm just going to add, I'm not even going to refill these brushes. So this has got either, or it's probably Lemon Lime Twist on this brush. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading with my Lemon Lime Twist. And then whatever's left on the dark brush, which would be probably Shaded Spruce. Just going to come in and add that. I think I've got glue all over this glass mat now. And then I might add a little bit of my Shaded Spruce marker, and I'm going to add in some of the, well actually I've got a strip which I did have just here. Oh yes, I do. I've got a very tiny strip of this DSP, which would be 4 and 7. The white piece here is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I've matted it on a piece that's 4 7/8 by 2 7/8. But I've cut this piece here to 1/4 inch by 4 3/4. So I'm just going to decorate with a couple of these leftover pieces. So I might choose one of these little monstera leaves, and then let's grab one of the, actually we'll grab one of those and a flower, I think. So I'll just add a little bit of glue. And so I'm butting this up. I haven't stuck it down, but I just like to have that there as a guide. So I know where things are going to be hidden. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere this bit of Stargazing DSP, which is the DSP that's featured on the card. just not quite stuck that right, but I'll just move it along a bit. The benefits of liquid glue. And wow, I'm really using a scrap tonight because this is clearly something that I didn't quite like on the back of there. And then I'm just going to add some glue and stick that down to the crumb cake. And I'll add the flour on top. Now these flowers actually do have a little embossed stamen on them, so you don't have to add a little, what do you call these things? Gem. They actually do have a little embossed stamen on there. So I'm not going to add bulk to the center of my card. And then pull this open and just center that. And that's somewhere to write on the inside. I've got such a mess happening here. You should see it. So that's the card. You should see my maths, my measurements in permanent marker. I was trying to work out like imperial measurements because I do lots of layers on everything. I have to double map things and take off 1/16 of an inch and an eighth of an inch. So that's what I've got to convert into my PDF tutorials. So I promise I do my best to provide measurements for you and work them out as I go. So that's how I do it beside my desk. So I make sure I'm providing you with the correct measurements. But yes, that's what do we call this again? The diagonal stair stepper card. Now, I do want to show you, this is, I did check this before. It does fit, so this is our C6 size envelope. This does fold down and fit into a normal size envelope. However, one, it would require additional postage. Two, I feel like, I don't know, it's fine. You could post it like this. I think I might home make an envelope for it though. But it does definitely fit in there because the finished card is, well, what is it? It's, I feel like I should do it this way. It's 4.5 by 5 inches. Well, yeah, because I cut it to 5 inches, but, you know, taking leeway in. So, yeah, so it's just more so thick by the time you do all of that. Yeah, I agree, Nita, which then makes it too thick for the envelope. But I think I've been linking, plus I always have bits hanging off the side. I have been linking the tutorial from Jackie Williams from New Zealand that I have been loving for handmade envelopes. And it's super quick and easy, to be honest, to make a handmade envelope with her. So it's not that hard at all to do a handmade envelope. And I think it's nice also to get a handmade envelope in the mail. And I would just use a little bit of this DSP to make it pretty. Oh, Anita, I can show you right now. Look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you right now because then I can say I've done it. Because I'm going to make one anyway for it, and it will take me 2 seconds. But you literally don't even have to measure. Okay, so what colour? See, that's the thing. I can't do Early Express though because you won't be able to see what you write on it. Not that you don't have to do that. I will do crumb cake. Okay. Okay, so take a whole A4 piece of card and then pop your card in. Now, oh, thanks, Bruno. Yeah, so you take the card. Now I'm trying to remember what Jackie does. So you take the card to make the envelope and you make a flap on the bottom. So I'm just going to score the bottom. Yeah. It's so trendy, I love it. And then to make the sides, this is kind of weird because you've got the this bit here you've got to take into account for, which I'm kind of guessing. So probably put your words, what's this thing, embossing tool. I would use this at the point and allow some extra room for it because you want to allow for the thickness of your card. So I would put this in here and find a track, which I suck at this, but probably go up and find a track. And then I love Jackie's tutorials. Give it a good score. And then on this side, do the same. So you literally got something that looks like that. And then I like to do, what do they call this? I like to take out, I've lost words, I'm doing it the wrong way. You cut this way, so from the flaps you want to cut these sections out, so you don't need these sections. So you should have something that looks like that. Okay. Then you put I probably didn't trim that enough. I'm just going to like totally push that down. So I could cut that really, but I'm not going to. Then I'm going to use the good old tear and tape. Oh, look at that. Whoever gets to the end of their tear and tape? I don't think I've ever got to the end of a tear and tape. Oh, I have another roll. Good. I was worried then. I was worried because I don't actually think I've ever seen the end of a tear and tape. Okay. I probably should have done that closer to that. I'm going to do it on the end of this one because it needs to go over. I think Jackie does this 2 ways and her other way is probably different, but then you put this flap up. This is just the way I've been doing it, and I've been doing this because I've been making a million of Bruno's cards, you know, the dual pop-up cards, and they need their own envelope. So then this here really should, I imagine if it doesn't, and then I'd be embarrassed. Yes, so it does. It fits in there. And that's so much more sturdy. I would feel more comfortable posting that. But then you think, oh my goodness, there's no flap. But never fear. Because I'm going to use this. So because we randomly did it, I have no idea what size that is. What is it, roughly 4 7/8, I think. I didn't even really measure that then. I'll cut some off if I have to. I'll do it 3 inches. It doesn't really matter, it's just got to be the right width. I can't be bothered getting out the scoreboard again, so I'm going to find, I've just made a giant mess on my desk, so I don't know if I'll be able to find the scoring blade because it flicks off all the time. There it is. I just need to create a flap, so depends how much of a flap you want poking out. So I'm going to I'm just going to do something like that. So let's try this. And if it's too big, all you need to do is grab your trimmer and trim still a little bit too big. Trim some off. Currently I'm really conservative. Surely that fits. Yeah, that's good. And then I sort of want to miter the edges a little bit. But I'm doing it freehand and I'm always judging how I've done it. But I'm not going to do it, I promise. And then I end up cutting, recutting. Okay, so I'm going to do this with glue, which is probably a bit risky, because you want to put glue on the back of that flap to stick in here. You could do it with tear and tape. You want to line, score line up like that, and just press that down like that, and then the flap goes over like that. So then the envelope matches the card, kinda. It's, you know, got crumb cake and it's got the matching DSP. So then, you know, I don't know about the stars on the back, but when you do that up, and you know, I would probably put for the sake of doing it up, I would put a strip of tear and tape. Obviously not do it up yet, but that would be what I put there for the recipient, or for the person that's going to use the envelope. I would put that there for them to do up. You could even, I don't know, you could add in some jungle leaves, I don't know. But yes, this is a lot more sturdy. Like, I doubt this would, that card is a lot more protected than, because this is actually crumb cake cardstock. I doubt this is going to get damaged. So yeah, that's a matching envelope idea. And that was it wasn't even measuring. I didn't do any measuring with that at all. So that is a Jackie Williams idea. She is fantastic. So yes, that is the Stair Stepper card, and I have totally gone way over time, but that was a lot of fun. And I will have the PDF for that up. I've half done it. I photographed a load of fun, and don't forget that Sale-a-Bration is running out of time. So that was using 4 of the Sale-a-Bration products. So I've got them all on my desk here. That was using the Jungle Pals dies and the Jungle Pals stamp set, as well as the Heartfelt Hellos stamp set, as well as the, what are these called again? Opaque faceted gems. So all of these products you can get for free, and it ends this month. So don't forget to check out Sale-a-Bration. All the links are in the bio, and be sure to check out for the free PDF tutorial that will give you all the measurements for how to make this card. So thanks for spending your Sunday night with me, and I will see you guys again next Friday. So it will be back to same time as usual. So enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a lovely week, guys. Bye.